Hello, hello. My name is Solmaz, and you're listening to the Tabling Thoughts podcast. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about my experiences as a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. The little points that I notice in my clients' life that each of them affect the quality of their lives and their relationships enormously. And for some reason, they don't pay that much of attention to those points. And of course, confidentiality is always there. Before we start, if you want to know a little bit about me, as I mentioned, I'm a relationship coach with the fancy name of effective relationship strategist. I also practice as a psychotherapist in Ontario, Canada. I live in Canada. I'm married and I have a son. I also have another podcast called Laam Kalam, which is in Farsi for my Farsi speaking audience. Laam Kalam is a very well received podcast. As of today, it has more than 3.5 million downloads on just Castbox. The purpose of Laam Kalam, same as Tabling Thoughts, has always been to talk about the issues, not necessarily give direct or custom made solutions. And of course, the same applies here. So if you know anyone who speaks in Farsi and is looking for that kind of content, Laam Ta Kalam is the place to go. You may find the link to my Instagram page and all other information, including Laam Ta Kalam's links, in the description. You are listening to the sixth episode of Tabling Thoughts, which is being published in March 2024, and I'm going to talk about emotional monitoring. Has it ever happened to you that you felt that your emotional well being, your mood, your happiness, your sadness, being anxious, or being excited is directly dependent on another person? Has it ever happened to you that you felt that if your significant other is anxious for any matter, not you, your parent, your friend, they're sad, they're anxious, they're frustrated. Has it ever happened to you that you think, what if it's me? What did I do? Did I bother them? Did I do something wrong? Is this thought pattern familiar? This is called emotional monitoring. Emotional monitoring often stems from trauma, typically from childhood to young adulthood. It manifests as a protective, often subconscious behavior when individuals consistently measure others' moods to understand their emotional state. Basically, their well being is dependent to other person's well-being. If they're happy, they feel okay, it's okay, I can be happy. If they're sad, oh, I did something wrong. If they're angry, oh, it's my fault. This pattern can develop in environments where individuals feel the need to constantly please others, especially in homes marked by unsafe conditions or frequent parental outbursts. Outbursts are one of the main triggers for kids who live in such households, and as a result, the kid always thinks, first off, it's my fault. Second, I should be responsible till my parent feels better. As a result, they always feel guilty. They carry this emotional dependence to their parents, to their adulthood, create and evolve the monitoring to the point that their emotional well-being is dependent on another individual. Emotional monitoring is a coping mechanism that often develops in response to kind of different traumas that we think. The trauma can be an incident, accident, even slightest argument between parents or other individuals that the kid thinks that, oh, that was my fault. It serves as a protective strategy to keep the kid and then individual safe. People who engage in emotional monitoring may find themselves constantly checking on others' well-being, intervening to improve their mood, feeling responsible to keep the heat down and bring the anxiety level down, or experiencing heightened anxiety when loved ones are upset. They feel extremely anxious. They may also be hyper aware of subtle shifts in others' emotional states and feel compelled to adapt their behaviors accordingly. So basically, the person who is involved with emotional monitoring is always anxious, thinking that is everyone else good? Am I responsible for their well being? Should I do something? So, as a result, they may engage in self criticism by replaying social interactions, searching for perceived faults in their own actions. Meaning that I think that I did something that this person is upset. How many times it has happened to you that you met your friend after a while and you see they don't feel good? They're not in a good mood. And the first thing comes to your mind is that, did I say something? Have I done something? Did they send me a message that I didn't reply on time? First thing is me. I did something. And it comes from our childhood. My friends, the reason I'm emphasizing a lot is the number of my clients that talk about it and tell me that my significant other, my partner, my parents, my kid, my colleague, my manager didn't feel good, wasn't in a good mood. And the first thing I thought was, what did I do wrong? And I can see how common this emotional monitoring appears in our day-to-day lives. If we want to wrap up the signs of emotional monitoring, it can be constantly checking on others' well being and intervening to improve their mood, feeling extreme anxiety when close friends or loved ones are upset, paying close attention to the shifts in others' moods and adapting accordingly, engaging in self criticism by replaying social interaction to find faults in themselves, constantly looking for what they have done wrong that the other party doesn't feel good. So breaking this pattern has two main roads. The first road is digging deep in one's childhood traumas, childhood wounds, the interaction between parents and the individual. This is what I do in therapy sessions and with my coaching clients a lot because, as Dr. Gabor Mata always talks about, whatever happens right now to us as an individual, as an adult, is the result of how we have been brought up. Of course, later in life, whatever has happened to us has other effects, but our personality have been fundamentally shaped by how we were grown up, be brought up. So to break this pattern, first we need to visit those wounds and work on them. And second, if we want to look at it from another point of view as an adult, individuals can first increase awareness by consciously observing their tendency to monitor others' emotions and recognize its impact on their own well being. Monitoring is the first and most important step. Second one could be reflection through practices like journaling, which will allow the individual to focus on their own needs and thoughts, fostering their self-awareness and balance them versus looking for other people. So it looks like this. You feel that you're emotionally monitoring the other person, you will use the magical effect of pen and paper. And you can journal and write down, what is bothering me here? Why do I feel responsible? What kind of feelings I experience right now? And of course, with the first and second journal, you will get to know her, but you will gradually be involved in the practice of fostering self-awareness and balance. Another point of view is developing emotional tolerance, which involves respecting others' boundaries and allowing them space to experience their own feelings without feeling the need to intervene or fix their mood. If someone doesn't feel good, let them deal with their own problem and fix it. Give them space and respect their boundaries. Finally, embracing imperfection. Letting things not to be the way that you think they should be. Letting things to be imperfect. And redirecting your energy from engaging to old habits and thinking about it. If I always used to go and fix the other party's problems, maybe in order to progress in dealing with this kind of behavior pattern, I need to just let stuff not to be perfect and feel uncomfortable. Ultimately, breaking the cycle of emotional monitoring fosters intimacy and connection by cultivating trust in the other party's ability that they can manage their own emotions. It cultivates the genuine connections based on mutual respect and understanding rather than the need to constantly manage or control others' emotional experiences. If we want to go to the items of breaking the pattern, the first one will be visiting the childhood traumas and wounds. And then, if we want to come to present time, increase awareness by observing your tendency to monitor others' emotions and its impact on you. Practice introspection through journaling and focusing on personal needs to balance external focus. Develop emotional tolerance by respecting other people's boundaries and letting them have their own space to experience their emotions. Embrace imperfection and redirect your energy when subconsciously you want to go back to your old habits. And finally, create intimacy and connection involves trusting others to manage their own emotions, allowing for space and fostering genuine connections. My friends, I hope this episode was helpful for you. Knowing about different aspects of emotional monitoring, identifying it when you are involved with this kind of behavior pattern will help you enormously to improve your social interactions. And the most importantly, it will boost your self confidence and self esteem. Thank you very much for being with me and thank you for your comments and feedbacks. Please be kind enough in the comment area and write a couple of lines about what other topics are your interest that you want me to talk about. Till next episode, be kind to yourself.